And we want to thank Jeff for taking us through the dailies this morning right here on Alpha Jiri, only on K24. Welcome back. It's time to jump into Rise and Shine with me, Shiko Kaitani. And you know, we're all about life lessons, but we can't do this without, of course, your participation on the show. Go ahead and get in touch with us through our social media platforms at K24 TV on Instagram, Facebook, as well as Twitter is how you can reach us. That being said, today we are talking about achieving victory over your life through spoken declarations. Now, in fact, best-selling author Cindy Trim is well known for her book Command Your Morning, on the same, in which she specifies on how declarations actually go on to activate God's power in your life. Well, today to speak on the same is Kenyan author, life coach, public speaker, and so much more, Stephen Kigwa, in studio with us. And you know, he's actually made or built rather a reputation as a man who has helped people transform their lives. And we're so happy to have him in studio, as well as some of his books that he's going to be telling us about. Karibu sana, Mr. Kigwa.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, good to meet you.
Yeah, pleasure.
You know, I've seen so much content online about you, and I was like, wow.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
I take it as a compliment.
Yes, you are doing a lot. You're doing a lot.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, so before we get to, you know, you telling us a little bit about yourself and, you know, some of the coaching sessions that you actually have and that you offer to the public, let's talk a little bit about commanding your morning, because that's a really powerful, you know, statement right there. In your opinion, what really is, you know, that goes behind the school of thought, commanding your morning?
You know, commanding your morning is actually basically designing the character of how your day is going to be. It's actually deciding exactly how you are going to get involved into it, how you are going to have active participation and to direct and channel it in the way that you want. That is all about the philosophy behind commanding your morning. But it doesn't begin in the morning, actually. It begins in the night before. Actually, it starts the day, the time you go to sleep at night. In fact, we should actually talk, we can't talk about commanding your morning if we are not talking about commanding your night as well.
Oh,
it can be complete.
Wow.
Yes.
Good point. Yes, please expound on that. Why do you say that?
The reason is because before you go to sleep, number one, you're supposed to take a very pleasant thought with you to bed at night. Every time when you go to sleep. Okay. The next thing is you need to have a list of exactly what you're going to do the following day when you wake up. You don't wake up and that's when you want to decide, what am I going to do? You try to scribble something. You do it before the night. The third thing you do is you need to focus on some of the hardest things that you've been worried about and actually command your mind to be able to give you inspiration. And when you wake up in the morning, you will wake up with sudden flash of inspiration, ideas, strategies that will help you in the day. So it begins the night before.
Yeah.
Yes.
And even just to build on that, you know, when we talk about commanding your morning, to me, it feels more than just putting down a to-do list. Yes. Like, okay, I'm going to drop the kids. I'm going to go to work between this time, and I'm going to have lunch with, you know, with Stephen. I'm going to do this and this and this. It's more than just a to-do list, in my opinion. What do you think?
It is, because you see, it is more mental thing that you're going to do. It's basically, like I said, designing the character of the day. It's deciding the emotion that is going to fuel the energy that you need to be able to achieve what you want to achieve by the end of the day. So it is more than just writing the things that you want to do, because you have to elicit, or how do I put it? To elicit the emotion you need that will drive you throughout the day, and also being able to overcome the challenges or meet with the challenging circumstances. In fact, commanding your morning is declaring your superiority over your circumstances.
Wow.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Fantastic. Before even we get into that mental state that someone really needs to be in, I wonder if there really is a difference between people who command their morning and those who more or less operate on a subconscious level, which is most of us, so to speak, because we just wake up and do what we need to do.
There is a whole lot of difference between those two categories of people.
Yes.
You can even see them, you can see the difference by the kind of results they produce. People who just wake up and they just get onto the day without any planned or pre-programmed, you know, sort of to-do list, or now what we are calling commanding your morning. they just take the day as it comes. But people who take the time to plan, you know, you have already designed for yourself mentally exactly how your day is going to be. You have had what we call mental rehearsal on the outcomes of all the interactions that you are going to have that day. So it is totally, you can see it in the result that people produce. You can see it in the public speakers. You can see it in the salespeople. You can see it in everybody.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. And when we talk about, you know, these people being different, these so-called commanders, let me, for lack of a better word, right? You know, you think about, when you're thinking about your day, it's more, like we said, than doing your to-do list, but it's about also putting your mind in check, your emotions in check.
Yes. Let me tell you something about mind and thoughts and emotions.
Yeah.
They are actually interrelated. You may not be able to direct your emotions directly, but you can actually direct your emotions indirectly by the kind of thoughts that you decide to allow to lodge in your mind. Someone said, and I really agree with him, that if you can determine what a man will think, you really don't have to concern yourself with what they will do, because the very nature of those thoughts will make them do so. Your thought determines the kind of emotion that you will have.
Yes.
And by the way, did you know that human beings are actually emotional beings? We do everything we do as a result of emotions.
Right.
And there are all kinds of emotions. At the extreme end, we have got desire. The other extreme end is fear. But of course, there are many other emotions.
Right.
So everything that people do is driven by an emotion. So when you're commanding your day, you are actually fanning the emotion that is going to carry you throughout the day.
Wow.
Yes, whether it's an emotion of hope, you know, or despair, or faith, or sadness, or excitement, you are the one who decides what kind of emotion that will carry you throughout the day.
That's some powerful stuff.
Yes.
Well, let's describe this person who commands their morning. In your opinion, how would you, I mean, give basic examples? You know, because we've talked about affirmations, especially in the beginning of the show. How would you describe someone who commands their day? What do they behave like? How do they walk? What do they do?
Okay.
Yeah.
And by the way, commanding your morning is not only about affirmations. Affirmation is one of them. There are people, for example, religious people may talk about prayer or meditation.
Right.
And many other, I mean, they are, you know, quietness, solitude, reading an inspirational book or material, you know, taking time, meditating, exactly.
Yeah.
So these are all techniques that people use to command their morning. But one of the key things for people who actually do command their mornings or command their days is that they take time every day at a specific timing when they wake up to go to a particular place or and even adopt a certain posture to begin to think about their day, to begin to consolidate their thoughts, to be able to just magnetize their lives, to be able to move on in life for that day. So it has to have some specific timing, a particular place, and mostly you go to a place and you're just quiet. Sometimes you may just need some quietness.
Yeah.
Because most of the times we don't even take time to listen to ourselves. So you take time to listen to you. That self-talk is very important. It's actually what shapes you to be the kind of person that you become in life. Self-talk. Yes.
I want to talk about those techniques that you've just mentioned.
Yes.
You said there are techniques on how to command.
Yes.
Okay, so you've mentioned it has to be specific timing, specific place that, you know, someone tends to go, you know, to their quiet place, so to speak.
Yes.
Affirmations, one of the techniques. Let's talk a little bit about affirmations. What examples can you give when we say, okay,
affirmation. I'll give something we do refer to as the standard affirmation technique.
Okay.
And the standard affirmation technique is you come up with a slogan or a statement. It has to be a statement that is so simple for you to say it, to say it to yourself, to memorize it. It has to be something that is easy also on your tongue to say it.
Yes.
And then it must be something that you are so convinced about that it actually reflects who you are. So you wake up, you sit down somewhere, or you look at yourself in a mirror and begin to say that statement. For example, maybe your focus for the day, or focus for the year, or focus for the month is you want to generate a lot of money.
Yes.
So the affirmation slogan or statement could be something like, make a million, or make 1,000, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So you begin to say that to yourself. So it has to be written, it has to be easy, it has to be something you are so convinced about, and it is something that you say not once, but repeatedly, until you begin to hear yourself speak. There is something magical about yourself hearing yourself when you speak. It causes vibrations on your body. It sets your body and your mind in a certain tone to be able to do what you want to do. So you have to speak it. You have to hear it as you speak it.
And you have to be brave enough to do it.
Of course you have to do it.
I can imagine as you're going through your sessions and doing one-on-one, you know, coaching sessions with people, how many people don't believe that they can actually achieve the things that they're saying also.
And did you know that one of the secret of developing unshakable levels of confidence in yourself and in your abilities is by affirmation, by speaking? People who seem not to have a lot of confidence, even in standing in front of people, people who are shy, one of the key things I tell them to do is to begin to speak to themselves that I can do it, I can do this, I can do it, I'm a winner, and they keep doing it until now they believe it.
It becomes them.
It becomes them.
Yeah.
Yes. That's a very powerful technique that people don't even seem to know, that they can use it.
Yeah.
And you know, that is exactly what I did. Before I became a public speaker, I was so disadvantaged because I went to a rural primary school. I was born in those days when English language was being taught in vernacular.
Oh, wow.
And when I went to high school, I didn't even know how to articulate anything in English or even express myself. But I remember I kept telling myself, I am going to be the best speaker and the best orator in this school. I kept saying that. I kept saying that. And when I was in Form 2, there was an internal competition in that school. And a boy who came in who couldn't even articulate anything, he emerged top. And I went all the way up to the provincial level because of affirmation, affirming yourself. And by the way, why would you wait for other people to come and affirm you if you are not affirming yourself?
That's true. That's true. If you can't deposit in yourself, don't wait for externals to actually come and put, pour into you. I love it. Okay, affirmations are a very huge part about commanding your morning. Number 2, you actually mentioned for some people it is prayer and meditation. That silence every morning goes a long way.
It is very important. In fact, it is encouraged that each person should have some moment of quietness, silence every day. Either in the morning or in the evening before you sleep or any other time during the day. If you can find a place that is quiet, just having that moment with yourself, having that internal self-talk, reflecting on what you've done, asking yourself, is this the best I could have done? What else could I have done? Just thinking to yourself, reflecting. In fact, the reason why most people don't learn from their experiences, although we know that experience is the best teacher, is because we do not take the time to reflect on what has happened in your life. Unless you sit down and reflect, you can't learn from your experience. And that's why people, every year they celebrate, today is my birthday, this year is my birthday. But there is nothing they have learned from the years they have lived before. You're supposed to invest all the experiences of the years into your current year.
Not forgetting them.
Exactly.
Don't push them aside and say, okay, that was a bad year. Moving on. It's what have I taken from that year. You know, that in that part of you being quiet, that space, doing self-inventory is also very important, I believe, because it's you being critical about yourself, which is also another scary thing to do, to say, okay, yesterday I didn't do so well on this.
You know, it sounds so simple when we talk about it right here on how to, set a place, sit down and be quiet and begin to think about yourself. It is not as easy as we speak about it, because most people are not able to focus their attention into one thing. In fact, did you know that the only thing that you have absolute control over in your life is your thinking, your thought? But most people cannot focus on one thing they choose to think about. The moment they choose to think about something, all of a sudden, now other thoughts start flooding into their mind. So they move away from their objective. So it is not as easy as that. It requires a lot of training and a lot of practice to be able to focus on one thing and say, I'm thinking about my career. I'm thinking about my relationships. I'm thinking about my business. I'm thinking how I can treat my customers better. It takes time to be able to build yourself to a level where you can control and direct your mind where you want it to go.
And focus.
And if you can do that, then you have control over your life.
Absolutely. People actually wonder why monks or Buddhists seem to be on another higher level of life, so to speak. But it's because, and I've actually had the privilege of meeting a Buddhist, and he talks about focusing your thoughts. And that's what they do. That's what meditation really is, like zeroing in your thoughts and cutting out distractions. Now, being able to even do that for 15 minutes every morning.
It takes a lot of discipline and effort. Well, for a beginner, you don't begin by talking about doing it for 15 minutes. Maybe you could just say, I just want to be doing it for 5 minutes, and I want to do it for like a whole month without missing a day. And then you begin to escalate it to 10 minutes like that. You can't just begin with, 15. You will not be able to do that. What I actually tell my students who come to me for mentorship and life coach and stuff like that, I give them a very simple exercise. I tell them, go into your bedroom or into your home and take a pencil or something and mark a dot somewhere on the wall where you know no one can see that dot, and not unless they actually told there's a dot there, except you. And begin to practice sitting in front of that dot and begin to think about that dot only. Nothing else. But of course, the moment you begin to think about it, your mind will shift to other things. But then command your mind, say, hey, I'm thinking about this door. And begin to think about it. It will wander off, but you come back and say, I'm thinking about the door.
Yes.
If you keep doing that, now you learn how to take control over your mind.
Wow,
Yes.
amazing. Okay, how does all this actually link into time management, in your opinion, when we talk about commanding your morning?
Yes.
Time.
You know, Shiko, it would surprise you to tell you that personally, I do not believe there is anything called time management. You cannot manage time. What you do is that you can program your attention. That's one of the things you can do. You can organize and schedule your activities.
Yes.
That's the other thing you can do. That you can direct your actions. So it's about the attention, the activities, and actions. And that is what we call time management. Because time management in essence is actually life management. And life management is about the actions that you take. It's about what you give your attention to. It's what you focus on, because whatever you focus on the longest becomes the strongest in you. It's about the activities that you do. It's the ability to be able to prioritize and say, this is what I want to do first, this is what I want to do last, or this is what I don't want to do at all. So it is actually about managing your activities. You can't manage time. Yes.
For those who are watching at home and probably are thinking, okay, he has a point. I need to probably start thinking about what I'm thinking about.
Yes.
What is your homework for those who are watching today? And even for myself, where do we begin?
Let me first of all give them very interesting statistics.
Yes.
I read something a while back, I think about 3-5 years ago. It says that 97% of the people on the planet do not think at all.
Wow.
97%. And that only about 2% think that they think. And that only 1% of people on the planet think. Most people confuse thinking with mental activity. You know, their mind can never be blank at any given. God has given us a continuous thought light every time there is something going on in your life. But most people confuse thinking with mental activities. So what I would actually challenge them, your viewers who are watching us today this morning is, are you, in which category are you in? Are you in the 97% of the people who don't think? Or in the 2% of people who think they think? Or in the 1% of people actually who do think? Because those are the people that move the economy. These are the people who make a difference. They are the people who bring change. They contribute. They make a difference. They change wherever they go. Those are the people that we need in the society.
Wow.
Yes.
Are you part of that 1%?
I strongly believe that I am.
All right, I'm going to give you this opportunity to actually tell us a little bit about your mentorship programs and even what you're passionate about. I can see you actually have 3 books. And by the way, Mr. Kigwa has been so gracious enough to give out 3 copies of this particular book, The Trick of Life. And it goes on to say that life has some secrets to make your wishes come true. And so if you do actually want to walk away with a copy of this book by Mr. Stephen Kigwa, go ahead and, of course, tweet us. You know, of course, our handle is at K24TV. And don't forget to actually give us your details so we can get in touch with you. So 3 copies of this, you know, we're going to be handing it out on Rise and Shine. So get tweeting right about now. But go ahead, sir. Tell us a little bit about your mentorship programs and how even our viewers can reach you.
Well, I do a mentorship program on a number of things, but mostly I focus more on personal development. And I think it's what people here call, you know, we use terms that people really don't understand. Today, in fact, when I was coming here, I was thinking, okay, I tell people that I am a life coach, but I was actually thinking to myself, do they understand what life coaching is all about? Because a life coach is basically a teacher. The teacher, not the teacher that teaches you in high school or primary, but a teacher who guides you through life, telling you what to do, why to do it and why not to do it, how to do it and when to do it. It's a person who holds your vision of greatness and works with you and holds you accountable to the goals that you set for yourself. And that is what I do with people. I help them focus and be able to discover the greatness that is already locked up within them. So I do several programs. Some of them are one-on-one. I call it executive coaching one-on-one. But I also do other mentorship programs for people who want to get into what I do, including coaching itself, including doing public speaking, to be able to stand in front of people, present and speak powerfully, and be able to connect with your audience. So I offer those kind of programs.
So you're an accountability partner for so many people.
And I think if someone really wanted to get to know exactly how they can can enroll, or they just go to my website, mskigwa.com. Yes.
You're passionate about men. I can see the maze of masculinity.
Oh, yes. In
Speaking to men.
I am so passionate about men. And do you know why? It's because I have 3 girls and 1 boy. And you know, for some time in this country, we have been talking about the empowerment of girl child. I have no problem with that. I already have mentioned to you that I have 3 girls. I want my girls to be empowered. But my concern has been, we empower the girls, yes, but we are not empowering the boys. What is going to happen to our girls? Who is going to marry them? These girls will suffer in the hands of these men who are disempowered, who are going to be the robbers, who are going to be the rapists. And I took it upon myself to say, to declare myself the ambassador, the goodwill ambassador for the boy child. And I did a book called The Maze of Masculinity. And this is a book about the journey that a boy takes through from the time he is born to the time he becomes a man. Because a boy is a man in training. So this is a book for any parent, mother or father who is raising a son, on exactly how you need to initiate a conversation with them and help them to become the kind of men that God wanted them to be.
Oh, wow.
But you see, I talk a lot about men because I also did another book, which I released this last year called Confessions of Married Men. And this is a book about relationship. You know, tomorrow is Valentine's Day.
By the perfect timing.
Yeah, in fact, this one I'll give to you. This Confessions of Married Men.
Okay, I can't wait.
But it's a book I really would recommend to any person who is thinking about getting married. Before you get married, please get the hold of this book, Confessions of Married Men, and get to know from the world view of men exactly what it is they call romance, what it is they think relationships are all about, because this is a book that can totally change your relationship. But it's also a book for people who are already married. And it will help them to know what it is they need in terms of mindset, in terms of skills, in terms of everything to be able to build a very strong, healthy, fulfilling relationship.
Absolutely. And of course, if you do want, you know, to get a copy of this book, are they in stores right now or they have to order online?
They can order online, but if they go to my website, we deliver books anywhere in the country. So they just need to go to my website, mskigwa.com, and we'll be able to deliver to them.
Sawa, Mr. Kigwa, we're going to leave it there, but I want to thank you so much for coming to speak to us about how to make that mental shift in regards to commanding our morning and particularly our day. I like how you threw in the point that, by the way, it starts the night before. As you're going to sleep, are you even thinking about the next day? Do you do this every single day? Do you practice this every day?
Ask my wife, she'll tell you there are moments when she can't even, when she tries to talk to me, I will not talk to her.
Okay, that's a bit... That's how focused you are.
That's how focused I am. That's how focused I am. And she knows the moment she sees me in a certain post, in a certain place in my house, she will not even bother. Even the children know they will not interrupt daddy.
Daddy has his own time. So you practice.
But I also teach them to do the same. I teach my children a lot on reading books and to do these kind of things. And funny enough, I see my children, even when they walk into the bathroom, they carry a book with them because they have seen me do that oftentimes. You go to my toilet, you will find there is a stack of books there. Just in case you delay there for some time, you can take a book and read.
I like it.
So they do that.
All right, well, please pass our love, of course, to your family.
And like I promised, this is your Valentine gift in advance.
Well, thank you. This is the first gift I have received. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. Stephen Kigwa in studio with us, writer, life coach, and of course, public speaker, speaking to us about commanding your morning. We sure hope that you have been inspired and continue to interact with us through our social media platforms. Yet again, we do have 3 copies that we're going to be giving out of The Trick of Life, and this book actually goes on to say that life has secrets to make your wishes come true by Stephen Kigwa. So go ahead, get in touch with us, and of course we'll be happy to actually hand out 3 copies of this book right here on Alpha Jiri. We're going to take a short commercial break, but when we get back on the other side, it's time to get interactive.